we are a committee of council appointed for purpose of this issue. Now, you have the right under the ordinance to cross-examine. If you ask him the question, he refuses to answer, we have the power to make an answer. You understand? We're asking him the power or anything else.
Yes, and I agree with you on that. Well, I don't know, I don't want to waste this board's time. I'm ready to proceed across examination. The mayor states he's not going to answer the question. I mean, I could get up here to go on and answer him, and he say I'm not, or ask him, and he says I'm not going to answer. I don't want to waste everybody's time on that. If it's definitive that the mayor's not going to answer any questions, I'll take him at his word. But I just want it noted for the record, my client and I are insisting upon the right of cross-examination. I realize that this body cannot force the mayor to answer questions, and neither can a superior court judge force an answer.
But I want you to understand, this board is not telling you not to answer the questions.
Yes, I understand.
Whatever it is, you can ask the question that you desire. But we don't have any power to make an answer.
Sure. Well, if the mayor, Mr. Allen, Mr. Chairman, if the mayor says he's not going to answer questions, I'm not going to go through 30 minutes of asking questions that we get silence to. And if that's going to be the case, then we'll proceed forward. I just would like to know, on the record, so to speak, Mayor, are you going to answer my question?
What part did you understand, Jay?
Well, I want to clarify it one more time. Will you stand cross-examination?
Jay, begin with your rebuttal. It's rebuttal time.
Okay, I'm asking you a question. Are you going to answer any question?
No, Jay.
We're ready to proceed.
All right, anything further on your behalf?
I think in the interest of time that I can find the button and close it off.
All right, sir.
I like that.
And I believe under the 11 days, it's my turn to go.
Yes.
Mr. Board, we've been here a little over an hour and a half, and I'm not going to belabor the points that have already been made. I counted, including my client and myself, 1, 2, the third person being Mr. David Rhodes of the Valley State Times, who apparently made a mistake in an article. Mary Freddie's attorneys, elder and younger Mr. Bennett and Mr. Sherwood, Mr. Bill Swain, who's the Department of Community Affairs, who's Ms. Ponce's supervisor, Ms. Ponce, of course, and finally, the Valdosta City Council for changing the travel policy. I've counted, and if you include all the council members, and there are 7, that is 15 people who apparently made mistakes in the proceedings we're here on tonight. Those 15 people apparently do not include Mary Freddie. That's what I've heard on his presentation tonight, that everybody has made a mistake but him. And ladies and gentlemen, I would respectfully submit to y'all that is the root of the problem, is that the rules don't apply to Mary Freddie. He talked about an ethics review course that the Department of Community Affairs has recently done. I don't doubt that they have just had an ethics review course of the Department of Community Affairs in a lot of these events. I don't doubt it one bit. But I would respectfully submit to y'all that you don't need an ethics review course to explain to you that you cannot get paid mileage twice for the same travel. There's no need for an ethics review course or a code of ethics or anything like that. There shouldn't be any guidelines to distinguish simple right from simple wrong. And ladies and gentlemen, as I think I said at the outset tonight, that is common sense.